Good morning, folks. Today is February the 7th, this beautiful, mad world we live in. Our first story is. Oh, I can read, sorry. But apparently, the British police cannot read. British police hiring illiterate officers, some with criminal backgrounds, in hope of meeting diversity quotas. This is from Blaze Media. The beautiful ESG, folks, in action. ESG is a beautiful thing. Hiring police officers to cite, criminally charge UK residents, all the while they cannot read. I would like to know, how long will it take them to write a simple traffic citation if they cannot read? Because if they cannot read, they do not know the law, and if they don't know the law, that means that they're just philandering about. But I guess that's the new style in law enforcement, isn't it? That's the new style in leadership. Let's get into it. In hopes of satisfying diversity recruitment quotas, London's Metropolitan Police prioritized immutable characteristics prized by the DEI consultants over candidates' relevant skills. That's a mouthful all in one piece. I can't believe this crap. An inspector tasked with assessing police forces and policing has concluded that the pursuit of this allegedly notable and right end, the Met have dropped their standards. In some instances, accepting applicants that could not completely read or write English. See, that's exactly what they want. They don't want competent people patrolling the streets. They don't want competent people doing anything that requires any amount of skill, because if they had the skill and they had the fortitude to think for themselves, they might actually stop when it comes time to enforce the Great Reset, because that's going to include locking people down, more of that fun stuff, perhaps even maybe genocide out in the open. Who knows what they have coming for us, but it's certainly not good, right? So the point is, illiterates on patrol, right? It's absolutely crazy. So what UK is shooting for here is 40% of new recruits come from black or minority neighborhoods. Sad. It's crazy what this world's coming to. And it goes on and on. And there's really just a bunch of nonsense explaining the stupidity and the retardation of the left. And I don't think we have to dive too far into it, but it's more the headline gets you, right? Diversity quotas. Who would have guessed? And for those of you unfamiliar with ESG, I would highly encourage you to look it up. It's absolutely fascinating. It's a scam. Speaking of scams, let's get into the transgender community. The United Nations looking to push religious communities to fully comply with LGBTQ agenda. How fucking beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. So you can push your gay crap down my throat, all the while I cannot push my Christianity down yours. Sounds fair. I mean, what more to say than, oh, it started on the other page. Look at that. I'm stupid. The United Nations is releasing a report in June regarding the perceived contradictions between religious freedom and the sexual orientation and gender identity. Oh, and they got a nice little acronym for this. SOGI. That's weird. Laws. Well, they fucked up their own article, didn't they? Laws and is looking to push governments. That doesn't make any damn sense. I think someone Chinese or maybe of retarded descent probably wrote this. Anyways, to push governments to fully comply with their obligations under international human rights law to protect and empower the LGBTQ plus persons, according to the UN announcement, otherwise known as the Alphabet Squad, right? I mean, holy crap! There's not too much longer until they have the whole damn series in there. The UN. This is the funny part. What I'm about to read is the funny part about the UN. Anything the left does, whether it's the UN, Klaus Schwab and his weird little group over there in Davos, or you have the Bilderberg group, everything's closed door. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised that the Fed even recorded their video when they were communicating about bail-ins. Now, clearly, the gentleman who brought up the bail-ins wasn't supposed to open up his mouth. That's pretty clear by the video. He got a bunch of fish eyes staring at him. The UN closed a call for the LGBTQ plus and religious freedom organizations to submit input. Input is what they want to force on you. It's not input. Not input at all. It's just what they want to see happen to the conservative movement. It's what they want. They want us squashed. They're not shy about it. They'll tell us to our face, but there must be more insidious conversations going on, or maybe plans that we wouldn't quite like. That's my take on it. Closed door. Good things happen in the open. When people are trying to hide, or they don't want you to prematurely end their plan, it's a closed door. They don't want you to know until they implement the plan. And everything that you see come out of Davos, it's all staged. There's an element to the Schwab group that they want you to know just a little. They have a hard time holding themselves back from bragging. It's disturbing. So we have an organization that wishes to comment for the inquiry was tasked with keeping their comments to a minimum of 2,500 words. Holy smokes, 2,500 words to simply answer 11 questions on religious freedoms and rights of the LGBTQ plus community. Notice it's not even the church. Religious rights and freedoms of LGBT. The church is corrupt. Doesn't really matter because the church is probably right behind them. Catholic Church for sure with the new Pope. So here we have Grace Melton, Senior Associate of the Richard and Helen Davos Center for Life, Religion, and Family. My biggest concern is the premise of the report, which seems to suggest that freedom of religion and rights based on sexual orientation are the same. And she is absolutely right. But certainly function as an international law, they are not the same. Freedom of religion or belief or freedom of consensus is an international protected human right. It's codified in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which is legally a binding treaty. Melton further explained that she was not terribly optimistic that the LGBT community shared her views on the subject, and warned that both domestic and international laws have become more of the have become more threatening to those who openly express their religious beliefs, and that is absolutely the world we live in. They are threatened by us. They are threatened by what we believe because we have morals. They don't have morals. They're a cesspool, right? And what does a cesspool breed on? It breeds on filth. So they're nothing more than a filthy, disgusting tribe. And I should clarify, I don't mean that as a whole. I mean that as the far left, as they would refer to us, the alt-right, the alt-left. They're a cesspool. They want to demonize your kids. They want to sexualize your kids. They want to put them in all sorts of drag, makeup, thongs. Touch this dildo, it's sparkly. So yeah, that group is demonic. They're a cesspool. I don't have a problem with anyone expressing their independent sexuality in private. I don't care if you fly the pride flag. I really don't. I don't care if you're gay. What I care about is the corruption you are trying to spill over this nation, the corruption that you are trying to normalize, the corruption that you have in our schools, that the fact that you have books in our schools that the parents can't even read aloud because it's so grimy that the school board is afraid that they might have a riot. That's what I don't like. That's what I'm pissed about. It's absolutely infuriating, really. And while we're on the topic of gay, transgender, yeah, let's find. I know I got some more of those. Certainly, certainly more sexualization of children. Yeah, here we go. Oh man, it's absolutely crazy what we're. Here's another transsexual. Every day you wake up, there's two things you're finding when you wake up: more unexplained deaths and more transsexual freaks doing something they shouldn't have. There's a theme here. And I don't know if this one's related, but we have a severed penis, so we'll cover that. Yeah, holy. Wow, that's over half the stack. And I did read some of these prior, so forgive me if I seem like I'm coming across some of the information for the first time. All right. This is the one that really gets me upset. Pisses me off. Male accused of raping girls. Age range 4 to 9. Should not surprise you that he's black. Serves less than 180 days in jail. Serving less than 180 days in jail. But it gets better as we dive into the article, because not only is this man going to go back to raping innocent girls, and it's disgusting. That pisses me off. He's going to have his record wiped clean. A 20-year-old Minnesota man. Surprised they didn't put black man. We've got to clarify that normally. Accused of raping girls 4 to 9 when he was around 16 years old, will serve less than 180 days in jail. Let's stop there. If he was raping 4 to 9-year-olds when he was 16, I highly doubt he ever stopped. I think the factor here is that he probably just learned a better way not to get caught. I'd be curious to know if little girls, age range 4 to 9, maybe change that range up a little bit in Minnesota. Have we seen an uptick in disappearances? He probably got smarter, much like Jeffrey Dahmer, and just decided to start killing them. Yeah, so up to 30 years of probation. He will not have to register. He will not, keyword, have to register as a sex offender, and the charges against him will be dismissed from his criminal record at the completion of his probation, the Post-Bulletin reported. Now, here's something to keep in mind. When they say up to, in regards to a black person anymore, it's not going to be up to 30 years. They just want to give you that. That makes it sound like they're doing something. Now, realistically, there is a good chance that there's going to be an AI software that determines what sentence he gets for his probation. They're actually rolling this out across the nation, where an AI software is looking at the characteristics, the parameters of an individual, and they're checkmarking little boxes. Black, you know, he's already been in prison X amount of times, and they're producing to the judge what sentence that this individual should get. It's extremely weird. It's strange. So we're now leaving, in some states, the punishment up to a computer with a program that was written by an alt-left individual. But they sit back and they tell you, well, relax. The computer said we should do this. Nobody's in charge of the computer. Someone wrote that program, and so forgive me if I'm just a little suspicious. I'm going to screw up his name. but you should Google it. Mohammed Bakari Shi faced 3 felonies, and I probably screwed that up. 3 felonies, first-degree charges, in 2 rape cases involving minor victims, and apparently they've only found 2, right? He was initially charged in 2019 after he was accused of sexual assault against a 4-year-old girl and a 9-year-old girl when he was 15 and 16 years old. The court documents revealed that one of the underage victims reported in April of 2020 that she had first been raped by Muhammad on Mother's Day of 2018. Ain't that nice of him? Happy fucking Mother's Day. At least his mom didn't find out the same day. That could have been a real big bummer for her. According to Muhammad's lawyer, James McGinney, the court could not sentence Muhammad to serve jail time because it would violate the plea agreement. And who wrote that little fancy document? Couldn't have been the prosecutor. On January 30th, 2023, so this article's a little old, District Judge Jacob Allen disagreed and sentenced Muhammad to serve with good behavior 116 days in a county adult detention center. This is absolutely sad. And what makes it more riveting is the fact that we get to read what one of the family members said. Someday we'll have to answer for your egregious acts against a child. Egregious acts against a child, said a family member. And if I have in the words of Paul Harrell, if I have a Shackner-esque pauses or slight hints of retardation, forgive me. I have a lot of kids, so it tends to happen, right? When you work and have kids, you end up getting a little sleepy and you screw things up. Plus, there is that element of fluoride in my water. I like this article because it just leaves, it's open to the imagination. How does this happen? How? Right, so, Alabama gas station worker makes gruesome discovery in parking lot. In short, the gas attendant found a penis that was no longer attached to a human body. A severed human penis discovered in an Alabama gas station parking lot is believed to belong to a motorcyclist who died in a traffic. They want you to believe that? Did he have his dick out while he crashed? Holy shit. No, I mean, I've wrecked it, but not bad. I mean, I've fallen off my motorcycle. I've laid it down. No longer have one, of course, but I've laid it down, and I've never once come close to severing off my penis. Never. That's weird. What the hell? What was he doing? Was he getting was he trying to put his penis in the gas tank? That's probably why he wrecked. I mean, if that's the case, maybe he put his penis in the gas tank. I mean, it could probably work out. And when I was trying to maneuver it in there, lost control and then right tipped. Maybe he was erect, snapped it off. Yeah, okay. I can see it. The fatal incident they're referencing happened on 6 a.m. Monday. Okay. Curiosity. February 1st. Yeah. Timelines don't match up. I mean, if it happened eastbound lanes of I-10 between I-65 and Dolphin Island Parkway, how did it wind up in the gas station? Did somebody pick up the severed penis and wave it around till they got sick of it? Decided to chuck it off to the side and go into the gas station and get a real beef stick? I don't know. Doesn't make any damn sense. Anyways, police said the victim, who they have identified as 29-year-old Christopher Means, was found in the middle lane, eastbound I-10. Again, they're not really, I mean, that's it, right there. And I'll link this up. You can read the article. They're not really making the connection here. They don't even say whether or not the cadaver was missing a penis. Now, if it was missing a penis, you think that would be a pretty important news headline too? I mean, right? A cadaver. If it happened 2 days prior to the discovery, a cadaver with a missing penis, and therefore probably a good portion of missing pants, you think that would be a headline. But no, not to these people. Not to these people at all. Yeah, that's a racist story. We'll get that out of the transgender rapist and weirdos pile. And that's a good one, by the way, because the black community and white community are being trained to hate each other, which is great. We're completely backsliding, and it's absolutely terrible. But back onto these transsexual weirdos. All right, Ohio transsexual Lays Media, written by Joseph McAnon. Ohio transsexual charged with indecent exposure after allegedly brandishing his manhood in woman's locker room. Oh, are you telling me that if we put men who identify as a woman into a woman's locker room, that we could potentially have indecent exposure at a minimum and all the way up to potential rape? No. That's not going to stop them any, because they're just chalking it up to a bad apple that they won't do anything to. I put bad apples on a 4x4 and shoot them with a 5.56. Anyways, an Ohio man masquerading as a woman, that's right, masquerading, because he's not a woman, in a YMCA woman's locker room has been charged with indecent exposure, signaling a possible prioritization of common sense over ideology. And ain't that the truth, right? We have to have common sense. We have to. Because it doesn't matter what you do to your bits. I don't care if you turn your flaccid penis into a vagina by cutting the tip off and inverting the rest of that flabby flesh up inside of your insides, right? Well, that's a stupid sentence. I don't care what you do. It doesn't change the fact that you are a man. I'm going to call you by what you are, you freaking weirdo. I don't care what pronouns you stick in front of your little name. I don't care what color your damn hair is. I'm going to call you by what you are. And in fact, I've done this. I've gotten into confrontations at my local mall because this Casper Pacey little weirdo was upset that I didn't call it by its pronouns, its chosen name. Because after the pronouns, there was some kind of weird, he identified as a fucking leopard. I don't know. I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention. It's weird. So if I see an Adam's apple poking out of your chubby little neck, I'm going to call you a man. If I don't see one, and I see that you have features of a woman, I'm going to call you a woman, because it's what you are. I don't care what hormone blockers you take. I don't care what kind of supplements you take. You are what you were born as, and no, gender is not some kind of patriarchal assignment just to make you feel good or your parents feel good when you're born. When you slide out of your mother's cooch, you're either a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter what pronoun you slap in front of you. If I took a stick to an ugly person and I said, hey man, this stick right here, this stick, it's a handsome stick. Can I hit you with it? You're going to be much better looking by the time I get done. So I wail on them. I beat them down with this handsome stick. And after a little while, they start to realize, wait, man, all this is doing is hurting. Now I got blood running down. And I finally step back. I stop beating them with the handsome stick. Guess what? You're not just ugly anymore. You're hideous. right? And that's what happens. These people who change their little bits and pieces, wanting to be the other sex because, oh God, it's not that I couldn't eat Prozac or maybe Klonopin. No, 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 no. No. I need to cut myself up because I don't have a mental problem. And wait, you said I was going to be better looking after this beating with that stick. Why am I uglier? Because it's all a scam. I lied to you. You're still ugly. The stick did nothing. The same goes if I cut your dick off and I fold it up into your little pelvis region